Today, we're going to be playing every single SmackDown game available for the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. Welcome to WWF SmackDown. This is the first WWE game, I guess, WWF game. You can see here it's a little limited in terms of match types, but for the time, for the first game, this has more match types than AEW. So WWF better than AEW. So let's just do a regular old singles match, right? We're going to play SmackDown 1. Here we have the full roster available to us. This is like peak 90s nostalgia, right? Because you've got The Rock, Triple H, Big Show, Mankind, X-Pac, Mr. Ass. Chris Jericho had just debuted at this time as well, so this is like the start of Chris Jericho. Edge and Christian, Gangrel. This is like Brood, Edge and Christian as well. APA, Bradshaw, Farouk. You got Hardy Boys, Bubba Ray, and Devon Dudley. The McMahons. This is prime Attitude Era here. So entrances in WWF SmackDown are not your traditional 3D entrances. Although you have 3D character models entering the arena, it just plays their entrance video behind them, which is a really different take on entrances. But given the limitations of the hardware, it kind of makes a lot of sense that you would just have. It kind of makes a lot of sense that you would just have regular entrance videos with the character models playing over that. And to be honest, once it's obviously odd when you first see it, but you get used to it really, really quickly. All right, so welcome to SmackDown. This is like prime nostalgia for me. I love this game so much. This game was developed by Ukes, who had made a game called Exciting Pro Wrestling, which is apparently part of the Simple series, which is still a series ongoing now. Obviously, we have upscaled it a fair bit here. God, I'm spearing the hell out of The Rock. Yeah, we upscaled it a fair bit here to 1080p. I don't know what the internal resolution is, probably 1080p. And yeah, it looks really sharp. Honestly, these games, it doesn't feel as fast as I remember it being. Apparently, SmackDown 2 was a little bit faster, which is crazy to think about considering how fast this game is. The game did review really, really well. For considering at the time, this was going against WWF No Mercy, and the previous PlayStation games were like WWF Attitude and Warzone. This game was definitely well received at the time. There were a lot of people at the time saying that this game was not as I don't know how to say this properly, but it wasn't as in depth maybe as No Mercy, which is fair. It doesn't have the animation system that No Mercy has. Yeah, it doesn't have the animation system that No Mercy has. However, it's so much faster. No Mercy is very much like a simulation-based wrestling game, whereas WWF SmackDown doesn't pretend to be a wrestling game. Obviously, wrestling is a big component of it. Oh, we've got a run in here from Billy Gunn. I absolutely love the look of him in this game. I thought it was going to go for a famous there, but nope. Atomic drop there. Thanks, Billy. Okay, Billy came in, hit an atomic drop, and then just left. But joke's on The Rock, because we're going to hit a pedigree. I love the animation in this game for the pedigree. Up and down. It just looks so brutal. There's basically no sell to it whatsoever. Earl Hebner on the call there with the 3 count. These matches go so fast, by the way. There's only so much commentary you can do with a match that's how even long was that? 3 minutes? Not even. We just picked up our first win in WWF SmackDown. Let's move on to SmackDown 2 and see how much better or different that game is. So looking at the match listings for SmackDown, it looks like it's very much similar, but there might be a little bit less. However, if you go into the special menu, you can tell that there's quite a lot of matches here. So this is the introduction of, gosh, quite a few matches actually. This is is this the first ladder match? Probably should have checked that, but this is definitely the introduction of Slobberknocker, oh wait, no, Slobberknocker. No, Slobberknocker's not in the first game. So this is the introduction of Slobberknocker, TLC, Casket, Cage. Maybe Cage was in the first game, but there's Hell in a Cell for sure. This game has a lot more match types, really. But let's I did Hell in a Cell in the retrospective video, so let's do a casket match, because I don't think I did that in the retrospective. So looking at the roster for this game, it's very much the similar or the same to what was in SmackDown 1, purely because of there was only like, there was like 8 months between the releases, so the roster's very similar, but they're still able to get a lot of new people in here, like Big Boss Man. We were able to get Cactus Jack, Benoit, Jericho obviously was just debuted in the first game. They were able to get Eddie Guerrero in there, which is pretty cool, and the Briscoe brothers, too cool, debuting. I don't remember Rikishi being here, but Rikishi is here. Do you know what? We're gonna play as Rikishi. He's not gonna fit in the casket. Oh, Shawn Michaels was an unlockable character. I forgot about that. Michael Cole. I did not realize Michael Cole was a playable character in this game. Do you know, I really like the model for Shawn, so let's go for Shawn Michaels. Rikishi versus Shawn Michaels in a casket match. That's like the most normal match you've ever seen. Stephen Richards horrified by what he's just seen. Rikishi and Shawn Michaels are going to be doing a casket match. Oh my god, it's Rikishi with Too Cool as well. Oh, look at that ass. It's all stinky. Woo. Oh, Rikishi, man. We just did the 2K25 showcase mode where he appears as part of the Bloodline Dynasty, where he faces Stone Cold Steve Austin at No Mercy. This game would have released around that time, actually, when Shawn did or Stone Cold did the run over segment and Rikishi had ran over him, I guess. I've probably muted the audio here, but yeah, I do like these entrances. They're quite antiquated, I guess is maybe a good way to describe it. They don't even have pyro, like it just flashes the screen with pyro, and it's very of the time, very of the time. Sorry for interrupting the video, but just want to let you know that 96% of you that watch the video are not subscribed. I would really appreciate if you could drop a subscribe to see more WWE 2K25 content. With that being said, back to the video. Alright, welcome to SmackDown 2. It does look a little bit better, I think. Again, we're we are upscaling again, so how'd you get out the ring? R1. So we still have the fast-paced action here. As long as we keep it in the ring, the camera will stay orientated the right way around. As I mentioned, Shawn Michaels is a unlockable character from season mode. This game has potentially one of the best season modes. Oh man, huge flapjack there to Shawn. And yeah, the casket match is pretty funny, right? Because it's literally a casket in the ring, and I just have to beat up my opponent to get into the casket. I can also Irish whip him into the casket, although I can't remember how to Irish whip. I think it's just circle on its own. Oh, super kick to Shawn. Flying Kishi out of the sky. Oh, I love this. Out of the ring. That's such a cool feature. They need to bring that back, actually. In this game in particular, Royal Rumbles are so exciting because you can literally throw people out within, like, you could do that in the Rumble and eliminate someone, which is super cool. Something you can't even do these days. So yeah, this game is probably most well known for its season mode. I really like the gameplay mechanics of it. I think the matches flow really well, and it's got a pretty good roster. Although, as we're about to see, this is very much the foundation for a lot of wrestling games moving forward. Especially like SmackDown Just Bring It is almost identical to this game. Like, I'm getting ahead of myself, I know, but SmackDown Just Bring It is very similar. Oh wow, we just won. Okay, I was trying to get a finisher, but no. That's how casket matches are played in. Oh my god, he even does the dance. God, Rikishi was so cool when I was younger. I don't know why I thought this was cool, but it just is. What? God help us all. We have just scored our second victory in SmackDown games. However, the next game jumps generation, and we are now moving to the PlayStation 2 with SmackDown Just Bring It. I've always really liked the menu system in Just Bring It. I think it looks really, really cool with the hexagonal patterns. It's very of the time, again, early 2000s. This game has less traditional story mode, or less traditional season mode known as story mode. But we're not going to be going into that just now. We're going to be going into the exhibition. If you do want to see a story mode, though, I have done that in a retrospective video. It's amazingly short, and we'll talk about it shortly. But the match listings are very much the same from SmackDown 2. I think there are more tag options this year, things like 6-man tags, because this game supports up to 8 characters on screen at any given time. But that's because graphically, this game is not that impressive. If we go into the special mode, though, we can see again that we have a very, very similar menu from the second game, where we have all the special match types here. I believe the new ones for this year are probably special referee, although I feel like that was in SmackDown 2, but definitely 3 Stages of Hell and Last Man Standing. I wonder if we still have the weird Hell in a Cell in this game. In fact, I know we do. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth was the first game to have the proper Hell in a Cell, so let's go for a Last Man Standing match. The roster this year is not the best. I think it gets a lot of hate online for being a little bit outdated. Round about this time was the Invasion, so when this game came out was the end of 2001, and by that time WCW was already gone. It was already folded into WWE. However, when this game dropped, the roster was not, it didn't feature really any WCW guys or ECW guys. It did feature some of them. I mean, Jerry Lynn is interesting, but Jerry Lynn was already in WWE by the time the acquisitions happened. You get people like Perry Saturn and Raven, who again were already in WWE by the time of the acquisition. Maybe not Raven, maybe Raven was a late addition. People always cite Taz. Again, Taz was already in WWE. He'd already jumped ship by the time before ECW was even sold. So yeah, I don't hate the roster, but it's not my favorite. We have elected to go for the big red machine, Kane. Kane's going to be who we're going to be playing as. Look at the hair. Gosh, we've come a long way from... Oh, man. So this is the first game to feature, though, full entrances. I guess maybe full isn't the right word to use. The entrances play out in, like, segmented animations. So it's not like a straight walk down to the ring. You usually get time jumps where they kind of just appear in certain parts of the arena. I do think it looks pretty good for the time, especially since it's the first attempt as well at having these 3D entrances, which again also is disingenuous because there were 3D entrances in Warzone and Attitude, but just bring its presentation as a little bit more realistic, is a little bit more of what you would actually see on TV at the time. Even with the pyro and stuff, it looks great. I know graphically these games aren't overly intensive, but I think for the art style they were going for the time, I think these games look great. So I'm not going to overly judge it for the way that the game looks, because that's very of the time. My thumbsticks aren't working. I had some technical issues there, but that's okay. We're all sorted. For some reason, this game doesn't support thumbsticks. It might just be a case of it doesn't support thumbsticks. I did try and rebind the D-pad to the thumbsticks in the emulator, but unfortunately it kind of made the whole thing wig out. And I also turned off the widescreen, unfortunately. This game does support normal widescreen, to be fair, without patching. But I do normally have the widescreen patches on, but whatever. Didn't need it, I guess. So the control system with this game is very, very similar to what was in SmackDown 2. It's maybe sped down a little bit. Slowed down, I guess would be the right way to say that. It doesn't it still feels really good though. One of the huge improvements for this game especially was the inclusion of reversals. Reversals obviously were already a thing, but now almost every single move in the game can be reversed into its own animation. So one of the, like, for example, these chain wrestling animations are kind of part of reversals, but I think it really helps kind of sell the whole selling the presentation of the whole mode, right? There was also an issue in SmackDown 2 where a lot of the moves were actually not reversible, so you could definitely spam certain moves and your opponent would never be able to actually reverse anything. This game also features the first inclusion of commentators, and the implementation is not very good. I think you'll find online that a lot of people drag this game for having really, really bad commentary, and rightfully so. It's not great. I do think it's pretty good for the first time it's ever been done, really. But I can understand why people didn't like it. Going for the choke slam here on Kurt, this actually should take him out. This is the last man standing match. We need to wait 10 seconds for the referee to count. Oh my god, that's a fast count. Compared to what's in like 2K nowadays, this is so fast. Alright, well that was a quick match for Just Bring It. Didn't even get a really... wasn't even able to really talk about all the things that we wanted to talk about, but yeah. SmackDown Just Bring It, very much SmackDown 2, but on the PS2 with very little improvements, but it's a really fun game, so can't blame it. We just got an insanely quick win over Kurt Angle in SmackDown Just Bring It in a last man standing match. Now we're going to be going to what I think is probably the biggest jump in the PS2's life cycle from game to game. Just Bring It is a great first step on the next generation, but SmackDown Shut Your Mouth really took it to the next level. Welcome to SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, continuing the trend of naming conventions that are named after The Rock. SmackDown 1's just called SmackDown, but SmackDown 2's Know Your Role, SmackDown 3 Just Bring It, SmackDown 4 Shut Your Mouth. But yeah, this is the main menu here. You have the return of season mode. We have a few new creation options as well, and exhibition. I really like this menu system. It very much feels like SmackDown to me. This is the first game to introduce the SmackDown Fist Arena, and yeah, this kind of blue and silver design feels very SmackDown to me. If we just look at the menu here, it's very, very similar to what was available in SmackDown Just Bring It. You have your Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and some other special match types. But if you go into special, you will see all the different actual specialty match types. So this, we already alluded to it earlier on, but today we're going to be playing the Hell in a Cell because this is the first game to feature the proper Hell in a Cell. And we're going to go for a fatal four-way, which I'm probably going to regret. It means I'm probably going to lose, but I'm going to do my best. So looking at the roster this year, it's not a terrible roster by any stretch, but a lot of the missing characters from previous year, a lot of the missing characters from last year who were like WCW, ECW alumni, I guess, they were not available in Just Bring It, but when Shut Your Mouth came out, they are here. So here you have Billy Kidman, you have the introduction of Booker T, you have the introduction of people like DDP as well, which is very cool. This is the first game to feature Brock Lesnar, the returning Hulk Hogan. It's a pretty good roster. I also think this is the last game to feature Jeff Hardy for quite a few years. This is like the one and only game with Maven in it. Maven obviously had his big breakout moment at the Royal Rumble, eliminating The Undertaker, and he's in this game kind of as a time capsule, which I think is really, really cool. But I think we're going to play as Rob Van Dam here, and we're going to go for the B outfit. I'm curious to see what the B outfit looks like. I really like the style of SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. This is the first game with Rob Van Dam in it. And this is such a cool WrestleMania stage. This is WrestleMania 18 that was in the Toronto Sky Dome. Although watching the Elimination Chamber in this year, it's now called the Rogers Center, which I didn't know about. But yeah, this is very, very cool. What was quite interesting about this arena in real life was the fact that all the screens moved. All the display screens were moving up and down, left and right, depending on who was coming out. And I thought that was really an interesting stage design to kind of change with whoever was coming out. Talking of who's coming out, Hulk Hogan debuting here with the Jimi Hendrix song, which is very, very cool. That doesn't make it into a lot of games, but it made it into this one somehow. And debuting Randy Orton. Of course, this is very, very young Randy Orton. I think his finisher in this game is the Overdrive, which might actually be one of the worst wrestling moves of all time. This is long before the RKO is a thing. Look at those horrible tattoos as well. Oh my god. And as mentioned earlier, this is the first game to feature Booker T. Fun fact about Booker T, he's actually the reason that WWE bought WCW. They wanted to have Booker T on their show, couldn't buy out his contract. WCW was coming up for sale. It was actually just cheaper for them to buy the whole company, apparently. That's probably not true. It's probably just one of those mythical myths. Alright, this is the... oh dear, already. Orton proving to be tricky. So if we leave the ring here, we can actually leave through the cell door, which is not even something you can do now in WWE games. And I think we can just climb the cage really... look at that. Look how easy that is compared to like nowadays in WWE games. It's so hard to get up here. But this is the Hell in a Cell. Honestly, quite well. Maybe it's a bit smaller than the real one. This is obviously the smaller cage from this time frame, but even then, oh my god! It's so easy to get thrown off of this cage. So graphically, this is oh, Booker's down. I wasn't even paying attention. Randy Orton's also beating me up here. I think he can lose the match up here. I think he can get pinned anywhere. So I really think, oh, I'm gonna get, oh, I fell off. I did the Rolling Thunder and accidentally, or not Rolling Thunder, but whatever that move's called, and accidentally fell off the cage. This game also introduced fighting styles as well, by the looks of it, which was the, oh, I fell off again. Okay, well, I'm probably not going to win this match. Oh, Hogan fell off after me. Yeah, you'll notice that, like, RVD standing totally different from, like, Booker T, for example. I'm going to get away from the corners. Somebody can come fight me over here. How do you change who you're looking at? Oh, so I think it's R2 to whoever is closest. I also think this game maybe was the... oh, I broke the cage. Nice. Oh, we can go for a pin here. I don't know what I was going to say, but let's try and pin Orton off of that. Oh, man, it was like a 2.9. Hogan, though, taking a big bump through the cage. How do you... okay, so you block again with the square button, which is very cool. I feel like I'm really scatterbrained here. Okay, I've got a finisher. Let's see if I can actually do it, though. There's a way to... oh, there we are. I was going to say you can definitely dive in this game, but maybe not. Oh, we can maybe go for a finisher here. Just about touching the top of the cage. We're going to auto pin off of that as well. Booker T's right there waiting for me, so not able to get the pin. That's a backwards RKO if I've ever seen one. Crossbody over the top rope. You can also fight outside the cage. You can, if you grapple outside the cage, you will kind of grate the face of the opponent against the cage and stuff. It's very, very cool. I think for, well, this isn't the first introduction of the Hell in a Cell, but for this being like the correct Hell in a Cell, the scaling and stuff, I think they did a really good job. Oh, he's hulking up. He's hulking out, brother. It's a really good Hulk Hogan model as well. I think there are definite elements to the graphic style in this game that still look really, really good today. I do think, though, the camera angle's a little bit jarring. It can be quite sickening. It moves around very fast. I don't think this game features blood yet. So I don't think we're going to be bleeding in this Hell in a Cell. I think that was a... here comes the pain thing. I don't have a finisher, but I'm going to go for that split leg moonsault. Going for the pin on Hogan. Everyone's outside the ring. They don't know what to do. Oh, so close. But hey, that's okay. It means it's possible. Nope, never mind. He's hulking out, brother. It's not going to work for him. He's going to go for... oh, I don't even know if you can block finishers, to be honest. And the moonsault. No! Oh, wow. Okay, if it wasn't for that punching animation, we would have never broken that pin up. Ow. Orton with a mid kick there. This is quite the challenge here. Is Orton bleeding? No, he just looked weird when he was upside down, which is fair, aren't we all? Let's see if I can go for a 5-star. Oh my god, I actually hit it while Hogan does his animation. This might actually give me... Imagine. Yes! Yes, that's so funny. Hogan was too busy getting his shit in that I was able to get the pin. That's what he gets for being a big old mark. Screw him. RVD getting the win in the Hell in a Cell. This game's really fun. I think it still retains... graphically looks really good, but still retains the gameplay from Just Bring It, which is great, I think, because it makes it really accessible because the controls are really easy. but graphically it does look a lot better than Just Bring It. So kudos to Yuke's for this game. I think this in particular sets the foundation for Here Comes the Pain is the final game on our list. It's probably the magnum opus of SmackDown games. It might be the best wrestling game ever made, but that's subjective. Let's go into it. The SmackDown Here Comes the Pain is the first game to break the naming convention, right? So this is the first game to be named after Brock Lesnar. I also really like the soundtrack to this game. It is the backing track for many of my videos, but here we have the same kind of list that we would expect from the previous games. We have single, tags, hardcore, Royal Rumble, whatever. But under main events this time, main events has the full list of matches that are within this game. I don't think anything is overly new except for the Elimination Chamber. This game introduced the first ever Elimination Chamber, and that's what we're going to be playing just now. In terms of roster, I really like the Here Comes the Pain roster. You have Randy Orton, who may or may not be doing the RKO at this point. I don't know. I don't know how... Yes, SmackDown situation is he's doing the RKO at this point. So, yep, we're getting closer and closer to Evolution. You have Matt Hardy V1 here, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, bald Kurt Angle as well. He was, I think, in Shut Your Mouth. We also have the debut of John Cena. I think this is the first game with John Cena in it. There's definitely worse games to debut in. You also have, for the first time ever, legends. You have legends like the Iron Sheik, Hillbilly Jim, the LOD, and you also have a version of the Undertaker, I think. And Goldberg is here for the first time. Is Goldberg in the next game? Goldberg was like only around for like 1 year in WWE. He was in a chamber, I suppose. Alright, I've picked a list of main eventers, kind of just the random picks from the list when you select a character. Oh, I should have let him up there, damn it. So yeah, this is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Graphically, this game is insane. I know the emulator is doing a lot of work here, but like it still looks really good even if you play it on base hardware. I keep forgetting as well, this is the first game to feature the new reversal system. So before, in previous games, all the other games we've played up until this point, it's been square to reverse everything, but in this game in particular it's now been changed. I've never seen Austin do that in my life. It's now been changed so that the right trigger will block moves and the left trigger will block hits. Which, you know, a lot of people don't like, which is fair. I'm kind of torn on it. I do like the current reversal system, even though it is just one button, but it is timed. Whereas with these earlier games, you can kind of just spam the reversal button until you get up, which is a nice touch. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can knock Austin off. Oh, I tried to get Austin off of the chamber there, but he jumped off himself as the Undertaker enters the ring here. He's climbing up the pod. Can we... I don't know how you... Oh, I got ballsed. I don't know how you climb the pod. If I did, I would be throwing people off it. But I really like the control system in this game. So yeah, as I said, you got the triggers to reverse individual moves. Right trigger will reverse moves, left trigger will reverse your attacks. It's still the X button to attack, which is quite handy. But now you have a new grapple system on the circle button. Oh, I thought I was going to go through that chamber pod there. You have a new grapple system on circle where you can pick a direction. It'll trigger a grapple for that direction. And you can do any 4 moves, or you can do a move in any direction, right? So if you put the thumbstick up and press circle, then you'll do a different move, and that goes for any direction. I'm probably not explaining that properly, but it's very similar to what's in the game now, to be fair. So you just do your initial lockup with any direction, and then you can do that any direction again to do another set of 4 moves. Now, because this is early days as well, there's no in-ring referee for these matches. Which means that a lot... Oh, we're just going to do a jackhammer. Is that not his... Oh, okay, I thought we were going to do a jackhammer there, but we're going for We're going for the pin. Oh, wow, we got a really close 2 count there. Here comes the pain. The namesake of the game, Brock Lesnar with a belly. Overhead belly to belly suplex, because I had a huge overhead German. I will say that the movesets for Brock and Goldberg are pretty awesome. Oh, that would have been a sick spear. There must be a way to climb these chamber pods. I've seen them do it. Right, it's square. I'm gonna jump down though, because I don't need to be doing that shit. Oh man, I nailed Brock with an awesome elbow drop there. So fun fact that I learned quite recently, this game, although it doesn't feature any commentary in the European or American markets. Oh, double reversal there, double clothesline to Taker and Brock. I accidentally pinned him. Let's see if we can pin him off of it. Yeah, this game doesn't feature any commentary in the American and European markets. However, it does feature commentary in the Asian markets, which I find really, really interesting. So apparently the Asian version of this game came out a few months after the American release and the European release. And as a result, we're going for a jackknife here. But as a result, they were able to add in commentary lines and in English. Like, it's Michael Cole and maybe it's Michael Cole and JR or Michael Cole and Taz. I'm not really sure. But yeah, if you look up the Here Comes the Pain Definitive Edition, I think Scotty J has been adding in the commentary in the American version, which is just insane to me. He's an insane modder. Unfortunately for me, Undertaker here was able to kick out of the... He did kick out of the jackknife. I'm accidentally doing the same moves over and over again. I hope the other guys are doing things way more interesting than I am. So when you look at the 4 different directions in the grapple system, I believe it was broken down into like different categories. So I think the up direction was a power move or a lifting move. You then had left. Left was signature. I think down might have been submission. Don't know if I'm right about that one. Oh, I got my head taken clean off there by Brock. So what it was is that when you did the signature position, which is the left hand circle, any direction that you go in to do a grapple move from then on should be a signature should be a signature move that your character does. So every single character should have a unique or 4 unique moves to them based on their actual real move sets, which means that the rest of the directions are a little bit made up. So your up being your power moves or your lifting moves, they are kind of just random, right? I was gonna say, has there been 2 eliminations? But I think it's just the 1. I'm trying to pin him, H. But I think it's really cool that you have at least the possibility of having 4 unique moves to every single character. Oh my god, Brock. I was not prepared for that. But, oh, he's still at full health. Well, Goldberg and Brock at this time were 2 just immense guys, right? And everyone wanted them to wrestle each other, and then they finally got their match. In fact, the match at WrestleMania was the year after this. In fact, not even, because this game came out at the end of the year. It was very possibly just a few months after this. Ah, sugar. To block a finisher, you have to press both triggers at the same time, which is what I did not do there. I'm going to lick my finger so I can get more traction on the buttons here as I try to kick out of this pin. No, we got pinned. Unfortunately, the last hurdle, we failed. We've won in every single SmackDown game, but the Elimination Chamber proved to just be too much for us. And of course, we got eliminated by the Golden Shovel himself, Triple H. But that's fine, we can watch the rest of this match, right? So I totally forgot whatever I was saying though, so sorry if I had a point and it's completely gone. I will say there is just something about this game. There's something about this game in particular that just isn't in the other SmackDown games, especially going forward. They move into the SmackDown vs. Raw series, and the gameplay in here SmackDown vs. Raw is actually really similar to Here Comes the Pain, but it's not the same. There's something missing. Maybe they slowed it down just a tiny little bit. I also think that the animations and the moves in Here Comes the Pain have just a little bit extra oomph to them, right? There's a lot of power. The way that the camera shakes, the way the camera moves, the way that the ring reacts and how it sounds, it's all very unique to this game. Like, I know a lot of people kind of like think that the Here Comes the Pain love is hyperbole and everyone just loves it unconditionally, but like, there is something special about this game. And don't get me wrong, 100%, a lot of it will be nostalgia, right? Nostalgia plays a big factor in how we love these games. Brock eliminated by the stunner there. I just think that, you know, if somebody who's only ever played the WWE 2K games was to play Here Comes the Pain, and they took a bit of time to get used to the controls, I really think that you would find that they enjoy the game quite a bit. Maybe they don't enjoy it as much because obviously of recency bias, they want to play the new game, and I totally understand that. But there's something just incredibly fun, and not just about this game, all the SmackDown games, they were on something for those couple years, right? From SmackDown 1 to Here Comes the Pain, they were just on a whole other level, making these insane games, adding all these insane features as well that we didn't even touch the surface of. Yeah, Here Comes the Pain is the first game that has blood as well, and you can see that Stone Cold Steve Austin's busted open there. This is an awesome pedigree animation as well with a bounce back up. It's so cool. And again, that's kind of what I mean by like Here Comes the Pain has this kind of vibe to it. Like every move is like bouncy. But it's not bouncy in like a kind of like everything's floaty, like it's bouncy in it feels like it hurts. It looks like it hurts. But we're coming down to Triple H and Kurt Angle. You'll have also probably noticed if you've ever played this game before, we are actually using a different costume for Triple H, because the normal attire for Triple H in this game has, in fact, we're using different attire for both characters. Triple H wears purple trunks in this game because that's what he wore at WrestleMania against Booker T. But I never really liked the purple, I'll be honest. So I'm really glad that they had two options in here. The one option has red trunks and the other's black, but I don't know, when it comes to... Oh, Angle Slam. When it comes to Triple H, he looks weird in anything but black. Kurt as well, wearing the red here. I just thought I'd change it up a little bit. The Angle Slam, probably enough to take him out. Nope. Golden Shovel, coming out. You'll also notice as well that the scale of the chamber is not accurate whatsoever. It's just a big mess of a chamber, but it's so much fun to play, and I really appreciate the fact that they were able to add it in anyway. It's one of my favorite, like, in most WWE games, it's one of my favorite modes, but also in Here Comes the Pain, especially, I think with it being the first version of Elimination Chamber, it feels different. It feels great. I think they put a lot of effort into it, into making it fun, making it look good, and also the interactions you can do in it are like great. They've never even really improved the way that the chamber plays. Like even in the current games, all the things you can do in Here Comes the Pain are all the same things you can do in the current games. You can throw people against the chains, you can fight people outside the ring, you can climb the chains and do diving attacks, you can climb the top of the pods and jump off of them, you can break the glass in the pods. Like, all these little interactions that were actually in the Elimination Chamber made it into Here Comes the Pain. And they've persisted all the way through to 2K25 because none of it's never changed. Even though the look of the chamber's changed and the games have changed, it's the design of the actual design of the match in the game has never changed. But I think that goes to show just how well implemented the chamber was from the very start. The fact that Yuke's thought ahead to all of these interactions, and it wasn't just, they could have just added breaking the chamber and called it a day, but nah, they actually went for the effort to add in all these little intricate interactions within the chamber. Are we gonna get a give up? A submission? Of course, Kurt Angle could win the chamber with a submission. If he doesn't though, Triple H is close to a finisher. I also think as well, in the other SmackDown games, you probably noticed, I didn't really mention them, but the heads-up display really gets in the way of some of those games. I think moving forward into SmackDown versus Raw, a lot of the heads-up displays get bigger, and I think this game has like the right balance of a useful heads-up display that gives you the right information. Oh wow, we actually got a submission. Kurt Angle, in real life, you would never see Triple H give up. Well, to finish my point there, I think Here Comes the Pain has the right mix of heads-up display to game ratio. I think the presentation of this game is pretty great as well, and we can see a bloodied Kurt Angle in the end of this match as he wins, as he makes Triple H tap out in this Elimination Chamber. And that's going to be us for today. We have played through every single mainline SmackDown game, all the way from SmackDown 1 on the PlayStation 1 to SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on PS2. And we almost won every single match. We weren't able to survive the Elimination Chamber in Here Comes the Pain, but that's just how it goes. So that's going to be us for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Can you tell me in the comments what your favorite SmackDown game was and maybe why it's your favorite? I have a real soft spot for Here Comes the Pain, so that's probably why I was gushing over Here Comes the Pain so much. If you did like the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. We're so close to partner now that I can taste it. Anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, you need to let me know in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe, maybe you'll see more. So that's going to be us for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.